All right, we're going to get started, and we are going to have a do-over from our Monday night team call with Greg Plaskett. I'm going to give him the rock star welcome that he deserves now that I have his stats and I'm more prepared. So Greg's been a coach for 4 years, and he's the founder of Team Eternal Fit down in Connecticut. And he is an 8-star diamond in his first business center and a 1-star diamond in the second business center. He's a Success Club legend and a 3-time elite coach. He's a Beachbody Challenge winner. He hit 5-star diamond in 411 days, and I think that's insane.
Yeah, great.
And what else? Let's see. Hang on. There's more. So he's married to Christine. You probably, if you know Greg, you know Christine. She is a 2-star diamond. They have 2 kids, Colleen and Joshua. And they're just a really lot of fun. He's a really fun guy, but he's also a really hard worker. So with that being said, here's your special rock star introduction.
Thank you.
Introducing Greg Plaskett.
We practiced that today.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Dawn. Hard worker, yeah. For the first 3.5 years. And honestly, I've slacked off since about November, but and we're going to talk about consistency, and that's something that I actually need to do for myself. Playtime is over, so it's time for me to go back to how I was the first 3 years and just run hard with this business and really basically triple my income, because that's what I want to do. So anyway, thanks again for the introduction, Don. You didn't butcher it like you did the last time. Not that I care. I really don't care. But so we're going to talk about consistency for success. And this is an action-oriented business. Without action, there's no result. And what happens, what tends to deter people is they do a lot of action in the beginning. They do action. They're consistent. They're posting, they're working out, they're drinking their shake, they're doing it. But for some reason, they're not seeing instant gratification. They're not seeing an income yet. Maybe they're not seeing results with a program yet. And then that tends to have people fall off. And unfortunately, those are the ones that don't get it. They don't get what we're sitting on. They don't get what Beachbody is all about. And it's not an instant gratification business. What it is, it's an opportunity for you to build an amazing life over a period of time. And it takes time. You can't rush time. I wish we could. I wish we all could. But you can't. So the way to get the success that everybody wants, and you have to have consistency in all aspects of your business. If you have, you start with the basics. You're a health and fitness coach. Don't drink beer every night. Work out every single day, and drink your shake. Start with personal development, and I'm not going to say you need to do that every day right in the beginning, but at some point you're going to need to. I didn't do any personal development for like the first year. I thought it was crazy. I just wasn't ready for it for myself until I really understood what Beachbody was about and how you cannot grow people past where you currently are. So once I got to a certain point, then I'm like, okay, I see why I'm plateaued. And I have to invest myself so that I can grow my people. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you're doing, you need to be consistent with that. And that's really, really important. And let me put my ice pack down. That's really important because consistency creates momentum. And once you have momentum, you do not want to lose it, because momentum is hard to get. We're all starting a business literally, guys, out of thin air. We don't have a storefront that attracts people. We attract people. So we have to build ourselves as our attraction, as our store per se. So you do that by momentum. And once you get it, you do not want to lose it, because it's hard to get back. So how do you not lose it? Well, and I talked about this the other night and probably got cut off. The old well that's in the backyard. We have them here in New England. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but the old wells where you pump the water, and then has anybody ever actually used one? I had a friend that actually had one in his backyard. It was pretty cool. But you pump the water, and it takes forever to get that freaking water up and flowing out. But once it happens, it's minimal effort. You can just pump once every 30 seconds and keep it going. Stop for too long and it goes all the way back to the bottom, and then now you have to start all over again. That's what you don't want to do in Beachbody, because what's going to happen is you're going to lose credibility and people are going to think you're just in it for the money. And so if Dawn becomes a coach and she's starting to post like crazy, like everybody does when they're new, and then all of a sudden after 2 months, she starts to die down for 2 or 3 weeks, maybe it's a month. And then, she goes to Summit, she gets fired up, comes back, or a Super Saturday, starts posting again, then dies down. That credibility is lost, because what's going to happen is they're going to see her and say, she's on that train again. And then, she's gone. She's back. Everybody, let's watch. If you're consistent, it's going to be believable. You're going to be more believable. And also, you're going to have more success, and that is going to change people's minds, and then they're going to want to see what you're doing, and then you're going to be able to bring people into your network. I have had people sign up I've had coaches give people my webinar, and they don't want to sign up under them because they're in and out, they're not consistent, they're not productive, they're not married to this company and investing themselves in this company, and then they call me, and now that puts me in a tough position, right? So if they're not on my downline, then damn well I'm gonna take them, and I have. But it's something that all comes down to consistency. So and that's in all aspects of life, not just Beachbody. And what Beachbody is going to do over time is help you guys in all aspects of your life. You're going to be a better mom, better dad, better parent, better father, better better everything, better person. And if you want to be better at riding a bike, how do you do that? You're consistently practicing, right? If you want to be better at dance, you're consistently practicing. If you want to kick ass in size, you damn well got to practice, because it's not easy. So it comes with everything that we do in life is consistency. And consistency builds belief in yourself. The more you believe in this company, the more you believe in its products, the more you believe in the integrity, the leaders, everything about it, that's going to shine through your personality, and people are going to be attracted to you. You have to have that consistency, which equals credibility. And I'll be honest, I have kind of faded off a little bit in the last 6 months or so, because I've worked my ass off for the first 3.5 years. And then finally I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to enjoy my time. I've built passive income because I was consistent. So I built passive income, and it continues to pay me whether I work or not. And that's the ultimate goal. And that's what everybody wants. And am I making 20 grand a week? No, but I could if I wanted to work that hard. I just choose to have a balance, and now after seeing some posts of what people are making in the network and the 5-star and above wall, I'm like ready to blow this shit up again. Like I'm ready to literally sit in my office for 13 hours a day and just rock this business. And, but it took me a little while to get back to that. My why was, and I know I'm going off track a little bit, but my why was to bring my wife home from a 6-figure income. I did that. Okay, I'm good. So I have to, and we've talked about it, like, all right, now what is our why? We have to reconstruct and get redriven to do this, because we don't have to do it. I mean, we have to. We're not at that point quite yet, but, we don't not work. We still work, just not as much. But anyway, so getting back to consistency, because that's what this call is about. And, if you want your business to grow, get a program and follow that thing 100%. 100%. When you're doing a program 100%, that is when your business is going to grow the fastest. because your mindset will be on that program, on promoting it, on promoting yourself, telling your story of yourself going through that program. Don't do a program for a while and watch what your business does. I bet it's kind of slow. I know it is for me when I don't do one. I'm like bouncing around right now. I'm kind of like waiting for the next big thing.Maybe hammer and chisel is it. I don't know. I know Tony Horton's coming out with something else. But, I need to get back on a program, and that's going to help my business. Consistency in all aspects. You can't be consistently working the business if you're not consistently working out and being a product of the product. And if you look into the 3 vital behaviors, it's be a product of the product, invite, and personal development. And that is consistency. You have to be consistent in all of those behaviors. Otherwise, your business is going to grow slower, or it's not going to grow at all. What else can I say? I mean, you have to do this every single day. You cannot take time off. I can't. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a guy in a woman's network. It's like 80-20 men to women right now. And the only reason why I'm sitting here talking to you guys is because I was consistently crazy with this business my first 3.5 years. That is why I'm here as an 8-star diamond, 3-time elite coach, because I was consistent. I've had coaches come on that I've brought on that stop and go, and their businesses are stuck. I have not stopped, so I'm positioned to be my business is set up perfectly as it should be. If you take anything away from this call, don't take a break until if you have a big income goal, 5, 6, 7, 8 grand a week, 10, 15 grand a week, don't stop until you get there. And if you don't think that you can make that kind of money in this business, then you have some serious personal development to do, because if you don't believe it, then it's not going to happen. You have to believe in yourself to do this business, and you have to literally have a plan of attack for this business. You can't wing it. You can't. This business, guys, gets so big and massive, you can't wing it. You can't wing $1 million a year business. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did. If it did, I'd be the grand poobah. But, it doesn't. You can't wing it. I wung it to diamond and 2-star. After 2-star, that's when I really started to get serious. Because I would talk to Bob and he says, your goal is 5-star. Then I'm going to put you to work. I'm like, oh, shit, I better start focusing in. That was before I went off on my own. But you have to train your mind and be consistent. And a great book for that, I'm sure all of you guys have probably read this, is The Slight Edge. If you haven't read The Slight Edge, you have to read it. And if you read it years ago, read it again. Because after reading something, being in this business for a couple of years, read it again, because you're going to look at it a totally different way and you're going to connect with it even better. I went back and read the 45-second business presentation that will change your life just, about a month ago. I was like, wow, this so relates to me much more than when I read it in 2012. The Go-Giver is a really good book, and it's really simple read. You can read it in a week. I don't know the author, but also The Compound Effect. You can get that from Beachbody, actually. That's based off of The Slight Edge. It's kind of taken a little bit different look at it, but they're basically kind of the same. So that's some personal development for you guys. I don't know. I don't have much more done. I mean, consistency, I can't drill it in to you guys enough to be consistent. I have a coach who's making a ton of money and he's not consistent at all, and he's losing more money than people care to know. I mean, the guy's losing 6 figures a year. He's just inconsistent. And you don't want to be put in that position. Vulnerable. One last thing, I'll touch on this. Vulnerable. You have to consistently be vulnerable on social media. And this is where I fall, because honestly, our lives are so really good right now. I don't really have much to post to be vulnerable, but I have to go back to before I was a coach and think about my story and tell people that more often. I need to be more consistent with my story, and I need to be more vulnerable and be consistently vulnerable. You know, like even something like tonight, like I went on a mountain bike ride with two guys that literally kicked the shit out of me for an hour and a half. We did 12 and a half miles at race pace, pretty much as fast as you can go in the woods. And I was dying, but I stepped out of my comfort zone. These guys ride road bikes too, and they'll go out and do like a 110-mile ride after work. Like they're sick. I just ride mountain. So I knew I was going to get my ass handed to me, but I went and I actually hung with them. I had a little lull, but I finished right on their tail. That's being vulnerable. Just something on that level. It doesn't have to be like, oh my God, I was broke and I had to live on food stamps. Just anything like that is vulnerability. You know, it doesn't have to be this big sob story. So that, you know, you just made me think of my post for tomorrow night. So write out. So my last thing, then I'll open it up to questions, but I'm running an Emerald to Diamond group, and we had something about gift hashing out. You need to have a plan. You know, and I just mentioned this a little while ago, because, you know, if I want to drive from here to California, I'm not just going to get in the car and go. Well, you kind of can now with Nav, but but you're putting that in, right? You have a destination, you have a target, you have a map that's going to get you there, right? So, and to get there, you have to have all these little goals in between. So maybe your first goal is Emerald. Maybe your second goal is Diamond. Your third goal is 2-star Diamond. You have to write this stuff out, and you have to put dates on it. And it's okay if you don't make it. Hell, I didn't hit a goal. We failed miserably last year with one of our goals. But it doesn't mean that you stop. You know, you have to have a goal, and you have to have something to shoot for. Why do you think there's a Success Club? Because the average person doesn't know how to build a business and doesn't have the motivation. So Beachbody created Success Club to give coaches something to shoot for every month, to help motivate and have a goal. And that's at the lowest level. You know, you want an income goal, then you need to write that down, and you need to know exactly what it is to get there. You know, how many coaches and stuff like that. Have a plan, guys. This is a big business, and you can't wing it, like I said. So, you know, without a direction, without a bullseye, there's no target. You know, without a target, there's no bullseye. Without a bullseye, there's no direction. So you have to have something mapped out. So I got nothing else. That's it. I can open up. I'll take questions for, you know, a half hour. I don't care.
Thank you. I actually looked back at some of the notes I got from Monday when we started.
Yeah, what did I miss?
Well, a couple of things that you mentioned were live events, and
yes.
Also, that even when you take time off, you still have to consistently at least post once a day.
Yeah, you know, and that's a good thing, because I went to the Bahamas last August, and I was running a freaking Coach Basics from the Bahamas. You think I wanted to do that? No. But you know what? It took 4 or 5 minutes each day. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, so you have to have, you know, I just had a coach get back from Summit all fired up. 3 days later, she went to Alaska for 2 weeks, and now she's lost, like, you know, I talked to her today. Her whole thing is she's got to get recharged, and she's out of the loop. And, you know, to her defense, she didn't have really good cell coverage up in Alaska. I mean, what are you going to do, you know? But just because you're on vacation doesn't mean you get a break from this business. This business, you have to have an entrepreneur's mindset for this business. If you're not constantly looking around for opportunities to increase your business and opportunities to change things and be excited all the time, then you're truly not an entrepreneur for this. And it takes an entrepreneur to build this business. You know, you can't worry about $90 a month for Shakeology. That's what it costs to run this damn business. And honestly, guys, it's freaking peanuts to start a business, and it's something that you get to improve your health in. There's nothing better out there than what we're doing. I don't know if you guys know that or not. You know, imagine, you know, working for Party Light or something where you got to buy a bunch of freaking candles that doesn't benefit your health at all. Now that's an expense. How many freaking candles can you have, right? So you get to use the products that's going to better your health. and you are going to, is there a party light rep on here? My wife did it years and years ago, like 25 years ago. I just lost my whole train of thought. It's brain fart. Oh, okay. So let me go to the next one. Events, like Dawn said. Guys, events are mandatory. Not only for yourself, but you need to get your teams there too. You know, they're strategically planned. Why do you think Summit is in the middle of the summer? Because the summer is lame. Summer is the slowest time of the year for our business. So they pop the biggest event right in there to keep the momentum going throughout the dead months. You know, and Super Saturdays are every quarter. There's a reason for that. You know, to keep people charged, to keep people energized, keep people fresh. I know I need it every quarter. You know, and I like the Super Saturdays. So consistency is going to events, everything. That should be the fourth vital behavior, actually. Shane and I, when we taught the 3 vital behaviors, we actually said the fourth one should be events. So, what else did I miss, Dawn? Do 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 do.
I think you at least covered most of what I got in our broken up call.
Yeah, that was whacked. I don't know what happened.
You did talk a little bit about how to be consistent as a leader.
Ooh, okay.
Your coach is accountable and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you know, and again, it comes down to being consistent on all levels. And like, I'm always posting information on my team page, right? I'm consistently checking my team page. Consistently, people check your back office. I have diamond coaches. They're like, oh, I didn't know 3 or 4 people were going inactive. Seriously? Treat your business like a business. So yeah, consistently, you know, do that stuff. What did you just mention, Don? I just lost my train of thought again. What was it?
Consistency as a leader and holding them accountable.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know, posting, you know, you're always, you know, we talk about posting. Post like a leader. You know, if you have, you know, if you're Emerald, you have a team. You can say, you know, I love my team. Or you know, in case I don't say my, I always say our, and I don't refer to it because of Christine, but it's not my team. It's our team. You know, I have, as of just call, I have 4,290 coaches on my downline. So it's our team. We're all in this together. It's not my team. It's just, I just happen to name it. So be careful with that, because some people get offended. It's my team. No, it's not. It's our team, you know? So post like a leader. You know, somebody gets a rank advancement, don't just post it in your team page. Blow it all over social media. That's posting like a leader. You know, you have a team of 6, 2 of them hit Success Club, shout them out. Create a nice graphic. Put in the time. Invest in your coaches. Post like a leader. And if you don't know what that means, go look at some of the leaders and look what they're posting. You know, what else, Dawn? Anything else?
I like that. Can you just talk about consistency and follow-ups? And then we can open it up for questions.
Yeah, you ever hear the fortune is in the follow-up, right? You know, so that's one of the hardest things that people do is forget to follow up, because most people are unorganized. So you need to get organized. And that's a whole nother call that I cannot host, because I need that too. Hey, I'm being real. You know, I'm not the perfect guy here, perfect coach by any means. So what was the topic again? I don't know what's up in my mind. Sorry. Follow-ups. God, I'm depleted of nutrients from riding. I seriously got to get food. So I have a funny story. So when I was going through P90X, I was posting on Facebook, and some guy reached out to me and wanted me to be a coach. And I'm like, nah, man, I don't even know what that is, but thanks anyway. His name was Andy Harshman. And he's still friends with me on Facebook, and he never followed back up with me again. So how do you think he feels? Right? Here's an even better story. Wayne Wyatt. Everybody know who Wayne Wyatt is? 2011 top 10 or top coach, right? Top 10 and 11, I think, top coach, 2 years in a row. He had a coach come to him that was asking for help, or a customer come to him who was asking for help. He never followed up with her. That coach left, or that customer left. You want to know who that customer was? Tara Carr. Can you imagine? Crazy, right? Crazy. I have a story, 2013, and this goes with consistency. 2013, I had an application out there on my business page to fill out to become a coach. I just signed up one of my 5-star diamonds at the time, Maris LeBlanc, and she was running, and it was like the only girl I had running at the time. So I invested myself into her 24/7. Like I was, attached at the hip with her, doing whatever. She was one of those girls that did whatever I said and learned and then duplicated. So I put all my effort into her. I go back and check that application after 2 weeks. A coach filled it out. Her name is Tara Bialik. She's now a 10-star diamond. I called her, and she's like, "Oh, I waited 2 weeks for you. Then I signed up under Mindy Wender." She's in Connecticut. Like, every time I see her, I just cringe. I'm like, And that goes with consistency. Consistently check the shit that you have out on the internet because people fill it out. And it's a learning process. And had I been a little bit more organized, I would have checked it. I honestly had it out there for a while. Nobody filled it out, and I've actually signed about 5 coaches from that now. I have to put it out there again. So, be consistent in checking everything about your business. If you have to write out a checklist of what to do every day, start with what makes you the most money first, which is going to be invites and follow-ups. Then put all the other stuff underneath there. Oh, do I have an app out there I need to check? Do I have to do this? Do I have to check that? I have to check the back office, sponsorship drill down, all that stuff. That's all under consistency. Consistency. I check my back office every single day, multiple times a day. 1, I like looking at the volume grow. But 2, I'm looking to see what I can do to help people get back to diamond or whatever. I'm always in the back there. So this is a good call.
This is an awesome call. I have
the other one.
I have 4 more pages of notes. That's awesome. Thank
Does
you.
anybody have any questions?
Yeah, let's see here. All right. Does anyone have any questions or anything else you want him to talk about?
I have a
Chrissy.
question.
Chrissy, hi.
How you doing, Greg?
Good. How are you?
Good. So Dawn said at the beginning, I think she said you hit 5-star diamond in like 400 and something days.
411. Yep.
So obviously you were inviting quite a few people and following up with
I was actually, you know what else I was doing? I was cold calling gyms. Like I was, because we just merged. I signed up July 27th, 2011. In October, we merged with Les Mills. Like that whole Les Mills thing happened. And Bob Lucido called me up on Monday night or Sunday night. I remember this like it was yesterday. He says, "Hey man, do you want to be a millionaire?" I'm like, "Sure." So we pulled the car over. Christine's like, "Did he say what I just thought he said?" We pulled the car over in Mobile gas station right on 44. And he was telling me about how him and Keith hashed out this plan. They're going to do what Shalene did with the Turbo Fire girls, the Turbo Kick girls, right? Got all the instructors and built this empire. So he says, Les Mills is in the gyms. I'm like, really? I never heard of it. He's like, no, me neither, but apparently it's huge. So he says, you need to get a list of gyms in the area in Connecticut that are Les Mills instructors and start presenting this to them, or that teach Les Mills classes and start presenting this to them. I'm like, okay. I had no idea what I was doing. I was a coach for what? July, August, 3 months. So by 9 o'clock that night, we had a list of 36 gyms in the state. Christine helped me put it all in a spreadsheet. She went off to work the next day, 9 o'clock a.m. when the gym's open, or when I was done with our workout, kids in school. was like 8 or 9 in the morning. I started calling those gyms. I started from the ones furthest away from me because I knew I was going to screw it up. Might as well be the ones that are further away. And the first gym hung up on me. And then I ended up getting like 6 gyms to sign up. It was a long process. It didn't happen overnight. You know, one of those gyms is Julie Miller. She's a 3-star diamond on my team. And my other one was Barbie Wilson, who was a 1-star. She kind of quit. It was her bosses didn't like her doing it. She's still on the tree, but her bosses didn't like her doing it, and she had to. It was like a conflict of interest or something. That gym just didn't get it. I signed up her, not the gym. And then I had Shoreline Fitness that had 5,000 members, 2 locations. The P90X certification screwed that up because Beachbody botched that big time, and then they quit after that. And then I had I had one down in Norwalk, a high-level gym. They just didn't get it. And back then, we didn't really have the tools for gyms, you know, and I was new. And this is before P90X certification. This is before anything. It was just going off of Les Mills Pump, you know, and the instructors and how they could tie this in with their business. And it worked, you know, for the most part. But I spent a lot of wasted time. I had a lot of gyms quit, which is why I don't really target them anymore, although I did sign one last month. But I don't really target them because it's tough. It is. It's tough. And you really need to know what the hell you're talking about when you talk to a gym because it's a whole different mindset. But yeah, that's how crazy I was and wanted to make this work. I just started cold calling gyms, asking for people that were involved in the Les Mills programming at the gym. One after another. I didn't even care. I still don't care. But that's the mindset I had, you know. And honestly, I just don't have the drive to work that hard anymore yet, but it's coming. It's coming in like a week. Like we're working on some stuff that's
just go grab a couple fries and hold you over.
Gonna help our business. But anyway, so yeah, I was cold calling people, which that's like what people hate to do, you know. And I haven't done it since. I haven't cold called since that first year. But I focused on bringing on people that had power of influence over people, right? I looked at it like, okay, so we're here to help people get fit. I want to build a team of people to help people get fit. So I'm going to target fitness professionals, trainers. That's what I went for in the beginning. And actually, back then, I was getting kind of a name in the network for signing up gyms. I even had Keith Callahan call me out of the blue. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Wow, you're calling me?" He was like a big 3-star diamond at the time, you know. It's pretty funny. But and I just worked with those people. Chrissy, you know, to get to 5-star, and I worked hard. And you know, a guy getting to 5-star in 411 days, even to this day in the network, is pretty impossible, I think. You know, well, now we have more tools and stuff, so I'm sure people have done it. But back in 2011, it was kind of unheard of. 2012. So yeah, that's how I did it.
So my other, what I want to know is, I guess that was like your first building stage, but
yep.
Kind of a range of how many people a day. How many people a day are you reaching out to build at that pace?
It was probably 3 or 4. But I did more in person back then. Like I was so flippin' excited about this business. I would have people, here's a funny story. I went into Subway one time. I had a P90X hat on. There was this cute girl that was there. She's like, "Oh, we had to do P90X for field hockey." And she was there working there, you know, home from college or whatever it was, you know. And I'm like, "Oh, really?" She's like, "Yeah, it was really hard." I'm like, "You know what's crazy? Did you ever see the infomercial?" And I just started playing with her, you know. She's like, "Yeah." I go, "Did you ever meet one of those whack jobs that ever got a transformation from it?" She's like, "No." I had my business card at the time that had my transformation on the back. I go, "You did now?" She's like, she literally yelled. She's like, oh my God, that's you? And then instantly I had 6 or 7 people right around me in Subway. So I'm telling them my whole story. Like, I was crazy. And I never got anything out of it, but that's how crazy I would talk to people. I would have people tell me my passion is contagious. You know, I want what you want. I want what you have, you know, and after being in the network for 4 years, I'm kind of like beat up a little bit, but you know, my excitement's getting there again. I just got to figure out my why. You know, it was in person a lot, and I always wear and share all the freaking time. Wear and share all the time. It works, you know. Like Dawn's got the Shakeology shirt on. It works. Matter of fact, I was in New York City a couple weeks ago. I walked around the corner. I was at the Empire State Building, and you know those guys that are walking around there trying to sell you stuff to get up, you know, sell you tickets to get up. He's like, "Sir, can I talk to you for a second?" I'm like, what? You know, it's like all annoyed. He's like, "I see you have a Shakeology shirt." I'm on. "Oh yeah," it's like changed around 180%, you know. And he's like, "Well, I've lost 80 pounds with Herbalife, and I need something else." And I'm like, "Give me your info. You on Facebook?" "Yeah." Friended him right then and there. I got home. I sent him down some samples, and that was 3 weeks ago, and he hasn't gotten back to me yet. I probably just wasted it. But that's wear and share, you know. Actually, I think he's on some kind of vacation. So that's wear and share. Wear and share is so powerful. My first coach I got in a grocery store with a P90X shirt on. This is right after I finished P90X, and I was ripped. And I got my first coach literally in a grocery store. How cliche is that, right? They always use, when you talk to people in a grocery store. But I did. I got a coach in the grocery store. My second coach I signed up just through Facebook. He was somebody I knew as a kid. He's covered in tattoos, smokes like 3 packs a day. I signed him up anyway. I didn't even care. And then I drove him out of the business to put my mom there because he wasn't doing anything. He was sitting on 2,500 coaches. So I called him up, pretty much told him he was quitting. You know as well as I do, you ain't gonna do anything with this. So. And for the record, to toot my own horn, I've never been below 5-star since I've gotten it. So I've never dropped. I've gotten every single quarterly bonus they've dished out. I built to 5, like Bob said to, and be ultra stable. It's better to be 5 than to 10 and be shaky. So I had that 5-star locked. I have 6-star locked. Actually, that will never drop. And that's $8,000 a week capped. That's $8,000 cap in my first business center. I'm not capped yet, you know. And I still have 2 more diamonds to pop back for 8, which puts you at 8, 9. That's $10,000 a week. So my business is rock solid. Even though I'm not a 15-star, I'm not one of those coaches that sits here Wednesday night going crazy in the back office. Well, I'm mountain biking tonight, and I'm on a team call. I haven't looked at my back office in 3 hours. So, you know, so that's nice. And I learned that from Bob and Cito. Honestly, Bob and Keith. You know, yep. And that was consistent, Chrissy. That was, 3 people a day. And, so the funny thing is when I first started, I was running my own business. I was doing 58 lawns a week. I was in neighborhoods where there was nobody around. So I just made up for it at night, and on the weekends. And that's just how I did it. And I followed up like crazy, looking back, knowing what I know now, I don't know if I would have spent that much time because I wasted a lot of time. I was doing busy work and not productive work. There's a difference, and I was chasing people that I shouldn't have been chasing. Like, I knew the guy wasn't going to do anything, but I wanted to get him anyway. I was in this to find builders from the beginning. And if I got somebody that wanted to get a transformation and go through a challenge group, well, great. But I mean, for me personally, I haven't run a challenge group in 2 years. I just don't do them. My wife does it. Let my wife do it. Guys don't really care about challenge groups. So
your 3 to 4, that's presenting the business to 3 to 4 a day.
Yeah, you guys need to present the business opportunity to somebody at least once a week. And if you're not hosting your own business opportunity, start. I don't care if you're an emerald, if you're a ruby, you should be starting to do your own business opportunities. And here's why, because that's going to get you better talking about this business. And even if you do it and record it and don't show it and just keep practicing it, like I used to watch Keith Callahan's business opportunity that he did for Team Bearcat over and over and over again. I used to get on every week and watch it. And then I would watch the recording over and over. And I would learn what he was talking about. And I was so comfortable talking about the business opportunity. It just rolled right off my tongue. And I believed in it so much, and obviously I still do, that I could look somebody right in the eye and say, this is the real deal. I wouldn't be like, yeah, so I'm building this business. I'm like, no, this is a great business, and here's where I'm going. You either want to come with me or not, but I'll tell you what, don't come to me in a year from now and be bent out of shape because I didn't tell you about it. I would literally say that. Some of my friends came on, some of them didn't. And, actually really only one good close friend came on. That's Pete. And everybody else just kind of laughed. And now they all go to their real jobs every day, miserable. And I live like a rock star. So they had the opportunity and they didn't do it. So get into, and another thing about presenting the business opportunity, if you're nervous about public speaking, hosting a business opportunity will help prepare you for that. You want to build a big business, you're going to have to get comfortable public speaking. The best way is to get involved with a Super Saturday, or maybe you'll get invited to speak at a Super Saturday, and that's a perfect training ground for that. And nobody cares if you screw it up. Nobody gives a shit. So get up there on stage, tell your story, and just own it. The more you do it, the more you're going to get better. And when you get pictures of yourself up on stage, you post those like you're the leader. Oh, she's on stage with a microphone. Oh, look at that. Perception's not always reality, but it can work pretty good for you. So you get pictures of yourself on stage at a Super Saturday, that helps propel you like a leader, project you like a leader. But you have to be consistent and go to the events to get on stage. Anything else? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, cool. I tend to go off on a tangent.
Not you, Greg. That's awesome.
I just love talking about this. It's just, it's fun. The genealogy to me is fun. Once you start to see that grow, it just gets exciting, It is. It's fun.
So what did you watch of Keith Callahan's when you were trying to learn how to present the business opportunity? Is it something on his YouTube?
No, those recordings are long gone, I think, because Bob doesn't have that instant presenter website anymore. But he would host a weekly webinar, like a lot of teams do. And you've heard Keith, right? I mean, he's great to listen to. Is everybody listening to his podcast? You should.
Yeah.
Really good. And he's a very good friend of mine. Actually had a great conversation with him yesterday, but he had this crazy thing, like Beachbody's going to be as popular as McDonald's. And he had like this whole comparison thing. And he's like, I know it's kind of funny to compare a health and fitness company to McDonald's. Then he would go into like McDonald's stats and say, here's where Beachbody's going. And he would, say how we're going to have, Beachbody household name is going to be everywhere. And honestly, it almost is. Look at how many, we're on infomercial, we're on TV 240 hours a week through all the channels, 240 hours a week, So kind of what he was saying is right, and he would talk about how this is, a ground level life-changing opportunity. And, this is just the tip of the iceberg, just stuff like my business op is on my YouTube channel, and some of that stuff I've taken from Keith, and some of it I've taken from Doug and Tammy Fitzgerald's webinar, and Christine and I created our own, which we're in the middle of changing and updating. But I have a bunch of them out there on my YouTube channel. You can just pick one and watch it. Pick the one that has the most views, I guess. I just got so comfortable talking about it, and now Christine is comfortable talking about it because she used to watch those things with me, and now she's hosting webinars with me. Well, she was. We haven't hosted one in like 8 months. We got to start again. Again, there's that consistency thing, right?
So do you think it's you find more success with holding this weekly webinar? Like, do people?
Yeah, we were doing really well with them, and honestly, my business is weird, guys. Right now, like I'm at a point where I really don't have a team, and here's why. I have on my right leg, I have Shane Fryer with a 1500 downline. So she's kind of, she's a 10-star, so she's kind of got all those people, right? On my weak leg, I have Maris LeBlanc, who's got a downline of like 500. So she's got all those people. And I have a couple other 3-stars trickled in between, and they have those people. So the only people on my team right now are like the people that I've brought in the last 8 months. Like I have this really small team. And that's essentially what you want. You want to have your coaches branch off and do their own thing. Like my phone used to ring all the time. My phone hardly ever rings anymore because they're all out of the nest running their teams. And that's what you want, Ideally, that's what you want. You don't want to be on the phone 24/7. I know I don't want to be. Maybe some of you do, not me. My goal in this was to build something that I can have freedom of time. If that sacrifices making more money, a lot of people think that I'm addicted to the money side of this. I'm not. I'm addicted to the damn freedom that it gives you. I can make more money in this business if I wanted to, if I wanted to bust my ass for the last eight months, but I chose not to. I chose to slack off, spend more time with the family, and enjoy skiing. I skied 45 days last year. I've been mountain biking like an animal. So that's time that's not put in my business, and that's my choice. Corporate doesn't like it too much, but that's just the way, oh, Greg, you going for Elite this year? Yeah, no. Sorry.
I say that every year.
Been there, done that. Don't need to do it this year. Everybody should hit Elite at least once, by the way. I'm not frowning on that in any way, but I just chose not to do it. We're kind of in on a side note, Christine and I are kind of in a transitional period in our business right now. She got to 2-star, so her business is at the bottom, right? So we have 4 business centers. Hers is now at the bottom. So all sales from our website and whatever are going to go through her because that's how we maximize the compensation plan. We have this cup team challenge going on right now, and I have a cup going, but I lose money if I put sales through my business center. They should be going through hers, which is why I have 4 points. Matter of fact, our whole team has 4 points. I want to fire them all. But, so, yeah.
Awesome.
Shoot me the info. What do you got? Anything else?
Any other questions?
Oh, it's Willie. Willie just hit diamond or something, didn't you, not too long ago?
Willie, you're a 1-star, aren't you?
1-star. That's what it was. I saw that. Yeah, you're ripped, right? Yeah, I remember that.
Pretty solid 8-pack.
I was like, wow, look at that dude. Yeah, congrats. Great. That's great.
Any other questions?
Who else is on here? Okay, some of you guys I don't know. Danielle Pearson. Sandy Holloway. See that name all the time.
All right, well, I guess you're off the hook.
Cool.
And maybe go feed yourself.
Yeah. So this was great. I'm glad we did this over because it was definitely worthwhile.
I know. I really appreciate it. You totally gave me 2 nights this week. So
yeah, I wouldn't do that for anybody.
Oh, you. I know. All right. Tell everybody hi. We'll get together soon.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Have a great night.